Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about the basic things that you would need to start DIYing, making your own stuff. This is actually a video request. Um, that's a really hard question to answer because it can range from just a little bit to get you started, or if you're really interested in starting to make your own stuff, you can really go all out. So I'll just give you the rundown of like the basic things that you would need just to start doing small projects on your kitchen table, things like that. And again, this is what I recommend. These are things that I use. I think the first thing you should be interested in getting is some kind of mat to cut on. This is like a very thin plastic mat for cutting. You can see like I have big holes in it. I actually don't prefer this kind. I have this kind because it was cheap. You can get mats that are called self-healing, and what that means is when you cut it, you're not going to be able to cut through it or anything like that. I've seen self-healing mats at places like AC Moore's. You can get ones that even come with a little X-Acto knife, and they're about $15. You can get them in varying degrees. This one I got two of them for $1 at a Dollar Tree. And they actually do say for cooking or cutting, or crafts, excuse me. So this one was about $1. Another great thing I think everybody should get is a good pair of scissors. Now, mind you, all scissors aren't created equal. I like these. They're pretty thick scissors. I really don't know where I got them, but there are scissors for cutting paper, and there are scissors for cutting fabric. And you should not use fabric scissors to cut paper. So if you're going to be cutting fabric, I would invest in a pair of fabric scissors. They don't have to be actual fabric shears, although it's recommended, but definitely get two different pairs, one for paper products and one for fabric. So I have these ones. I have another pair. Again, another thing I think everybody should be getting, this is a measuring tape. It's a seamstress tape. It's see, it's got the inches on there and things. These are pretty cheap. Actually, if you pick up a cheap sewing kit, these usually come in them. This goes up to 60 inches. Flat, like wooden or plastic rulers are nice, but and I would recommend having one of those somewhere along the line, but these are nice for maybe like measuring your wrist sizes and things like that. So this is more versatile, I think. Another thing that I believe everybody starting out should have, hot glue gun. And these are actually getting pretty affordable. This particular model that I bought came from AC Moore's. It came with 2 glue sticks and it came with the stand. This is a high temperature only glue gun, and this was, I believe, $13. So that's pretty affordable considering if you get into a lot of crafting, you'll be using it quite a bit. They do have smaller models. I've even seen small, tiny little ones at the dollar store. This model came from the dollar store. As you can see, it's very old and very used. So I paid $1 for the gun. I paid $1 for the sticks. I got 20 of them for $1. So $2. The only thing I say about these is this one's currently broken because the glue backs up inside of the gun. So this isn't, I wouldn't say this is for long-term use at all. So I think it's worth it to invest in the bigger models. Although it's not required, if you're going to be doing a lot of hot gluing, I suggest you get one of these. Doesn't look like much, but it's a lifesaver. This is a little silicone mat that you put your glue gun on top of like so. And when the glue drips out of the end of the gun when you're not using it. And what this does is it keeps it from sticking. The little glue dots that come out, it peels right off of this mat. Unlike putting it maybe on this piece of foam or this table over here where it's going to stick and make a lovely mess. I just spent 2 days, I just got this pat recently. I spent 2 days trying to pull glue off of my table, and I ripped up the surface of the table. So if you're going to be working on like a kitchen table or something like that, it's definitely worth it to get one of these silicone pads. And I paid, I believe, $5 or $6 for this. So it's definitely worth it. Another thing I think everybody should have is some form of this. A box cutter, something with a razor blade. It's helpful for cutting out stencils, anything with cardboard. So you can get an actual X-Acto knife. They are a bit expensive. I think I paid $1.49 for this particular model, and I get a package of 10 razor blades for $4. And the blades do last a decent amount of time. But you can, there's all different kinds of cutters you can get out there. Just make sure that you're getting a heavy duty one. I know there's some out there that have like ceramic tips and whatnot, and I don't find those are the best for cutting through cardboard and things like that. It's more just for paper products. So I would recommend, if you're going to get one, make sure it's heavy duty. It can cut through corrugated cardboard and things like that. You can't have enough regular old glue sticks. You can't have, whoops, I dropped it. You can't have enough tacky glue. Tacky glue is amazing stuff. Glue sticks. Again, you can see I got these at AC Moore's. I think this was $2, not even, and this was, they came in a package 2 for $1, so they it's pretty affordable. If you're going to be working with a lot of fabrics, I recommend buying some kind of marker or chalk for marking fabrics. This is actually a Galaxy marker that's used for scrapbooking, but it does mark very well. As you can see, I made a little dot here on this piece of foam so I know where the center of the camera is. So it works pretty nice for multiple uses. So you can get something like that to be marking your fabric. Even some chalk from the dollar store. You can get like kids chalk. That would work. I just think you need something to mark darker fabrics. These are just plastic bins. Clear is ideal, so you can see if they're stacked up, see what's in there. I got these at I got mine at the dollar store. They come with a lid, obviously for $1 you can't go wrong. But yeah, definitely find some containers. Keep yourself organized. I think that's especially important if you don't have a dedicated workspace, so that you know where everything is when you need it. As for things that you don't really need to start out, but I really recommend. I recommend setting up your own dedicated workspace. I have a regular card table that I'm sitting at right now. I think it cost me $20 at a wholesale warehouse place, and I think they usually run like $30, but it's definitely worth it if you're going to be doing a lot of crafting. Some tips for when you're setting up your space: make sure you have good lighting. That's always important. Usually what works best is you can find overhead lamps. Those work really well. If you are using just a regular lamp, if it's flat on the bottom, try and get something to hold it up. Push it up in the air. I'll actually show you what I do with my light right here. Oh, let's see if I can get this in here. There it is. I just have my light on a base right there because I don't really have a dedicated light right now, but I'm actually looking into getting. But anyway, I actually also have mine set up near a window. That's really helpful if you want to get some natural light in here, into your work area. If you're going to be working with any kind of wire or jewelry, I will recommend you also pick up some jewelry making pliers. They are a little different than your standard pliers that you will find, and I will be right back. These are round nose pliers. This is an actual pair of jewelry making pliers. This particular model has a wire cutter in it, which is also really helpful when you're going to be working with any kind of jewelry making. So you'll want a pair of round nose pliers. This is a crimping tool. You use it, again, it's used for a lot of jewelry making. I'm not going to go too heavy into these. We'll save that for another video. I'm just showing you some things you might want to pick up. So these are crimping pliers, very useful. These are a pair of chain nose pliers that do not have ridges. Ridges will mark and mar any kind of metal surface that you're working with, so you don't want a pair with ridges on it if you're going to be working solely with jewelry. If you want to though, you can get the kind with the ridges on it, as you can see the difference here with the ridges. Again, you can buy sets of these jewelry pliers that come with the chain nose, the flat nose, the wire cutters. I believe they run about $8 to $10. You will not be able to find a set unless you're going to pay a decent amount of money. You're not going to be able to find a set with the crimping pliers. I think I paid $3 for this particular set, and for years I made jewelry and never had a pair, and I just bought them maybe 6 months ago, and I'm kicking myself in the butt for not buying them sooner because they're really amazing. A couple other tools that I think are really helpful. Hole punches, any kind of punches are really great for paper. If you're going to be doing a lot of stenciling and fabric painting, it's always a good thing to have. Speaking of painting and fabric painting, it's always good to have a big array of brushes. Every brush that you see right here, I bought in a value pack. It was 25 pieces, and it was $5, and they come with, this is like a 1-inch brush. They have very tiny ones. Well, they have all the different sizes in there. And I like the variety packs too, because here's something that I see a lot of people doing, and I don't think they realize it. Okay. Make sure when you're going to buy brushes that if you are buying them singly, that you at least get these two. These are synthetic brushes. I think they work the best. Or sometimes they're called acrylic brushes. I think these brushes work the best for fabric painting, any kind of acrylic painting you're going to do. A lot of these brushes. They're very bristly. They look like natural hair because they are. These are natural hair brushes. I don't recommend these for most painting, craft painting, because they tend to leave big brush streaks. They soak up the paint into the brush, and it doesn't paint too well. These are more used for oil painting, but they're good to have around, brushing away bits of things or whatever. Something else I recommend everybody getting is this is called fabric tack. Definitely invest in some kind of glue for fabrics. I have this fabric tack used called Liquid Stitch. Both of these, the Liquid Stitch works pretty well. It doesn't dry exactly clear as it says it will, and depending on the fabric, if it seeps through to the other side of the fabric, it does leave a darker mark. So it's pretty good, but I would more invest in this nice fabric tack. This is really good too if you're a guy doing DIY, if you're a teenager. I think starting with fabric glue is a lot easier than looking at your father and saying, "Daddy, I want a sewing machine." Because I don't think that might go over so well with some people's parents. Even girls too. I mean, a sewing machine is a pretty expensive piece of equipment. So if you're just starting out, or you don't want to ask for a sewing machine, fabric tack is definitely a way to go. Have something to put your paints in. These are just little cups that I bought. They're actually some sort of sampling cups, but you can also pick up a small palette. I think they sell them at AC Moore's in the actual art supply section. I believe I've seen them as cheap as $1 for a palette with 6 wells in it. So you can have. Other than that, that's really like the tools and things that I think that everybody who's starting out should have. And some more advanced tools, again, if you have the money to spend, which I really encourage you to spend the money to get those extras, like the table for the dedicated space, lighting, the pliers, things like that. Any questions or want to know more about where to find these things, you can always just drop me a mail, and I'll do my best to get right back to you. So until the next tutorial, I will see you guys later. Love you. Bye.